found themselves on American soil. And I think that in the relationship to the state of perpetual warfare, we have to understand that the game that we think we're playing is far bigger, it's far more vast, and it's darker than, opening up your textbook and seeing Nat Turner or seeing Harriet Tubman or anything else that has to do with what America tells us our history is. I think that once we, as a people, have a clear chain of communication as to where we are in relationship to the Western world, in relationship to these conflicts on a global scale and how we relate to these things, just right from our street corner, you'll see the deep relationship, the deep relationship. All you have to do is track all the big time dealers all the way up to about the 2000s. After the 2000s, you do not see these high powered, robust, hierarchy, integrated narcotics organizations anymore. As a matter of fact, I frequently say to a lot of people, in just looking at the history, when you pay attention to our history, and you look at the 80s and 90s and all that hip hop culture that we developed amongst the drugs, you're able to literally follow, or rather see the arch in our prosperity, and with our prosperity, you also saw a curve in high-level drug activity. And then around 1999, 2000, that drug activity begins to fall.
Right.
And that isn't because necessarily the streets are being cleaned up per se. Because the streets
I know what you mean per se. I mean, again, they build you up to bring you down.
They build you up to bring you down. And it's also because of the systematic subjugation of those smart guys, who were in charge of those robust drug organizations. And in the relationship between, Rayful Evans, we would think that there's no relationship between Rayful Evans and Ronald Reagan at the time, right? But little do we know that there was a conflict, a little known conflict amongst it's little known amongst our community. There was a conflict named the Iran-Contra, where drugs were being flowed freely between these borders, and now they want to seal up and put a double padded brick.
And now it's not even
brick wall amongst us and them.
And I always say, for real, it's not about the wall. For one, that wall is just a distraction. It's never been about the wall and the borders. Because they could, the CIA, they could, you put a wall here tomorrow, they still fly out. It's never been about the wall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The wall for one. That's why I say, as a community, this is a great hour for us, because that is a distraction, because the dollar has fallen.
Yeah. Fast.
But the dollars fell. But what people don't realize, they backed it up again.
Yeah.
I say again, they backed up the dollar again with gold and silver.
Yeah.
So now it's backed by something.
Monetary value.
But the order, it's about checks and balances. In order to bring, because the U.S. is in like $1 trillion debt.
Yeah.
$1 trillion of debt.
Several trillion.
They not about to pay that back. But in order to bring a balance back, you have to crash the economy.
Yeah.
So, wall, we need to build a wall, government shut down. No. For real, while they're backing up and they're buying gold for a low price right now.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
Silver, they're buying it up while we're too busy worrying about a war and the government shutdown.
What CNN is telling us.
They're telling us that, well, we should be buying it. We should be buying our gold and our silver
assets.
right now.
Assets.
Man, it's about they about to crash the economy.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. It's really not about the wall, man. The Democrats and Republicans, they got on YouTube, them bickering, man. They on the same side to a degree.
Yeah.
And when I say a degree, you know, there's no honor amongst thieves.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So even in the mob, you know, they was well organized. But if that one at the head table said, I need you to kill such and such, I need you to kill such and such.
Yeah.
I don't care if that's your brother, your cousin, whomever. If he's in the way of what, you know, the bigger picture, then he's in the way, clip him.
These are the parables of communities. Again, I mean, we think that America is this big, beautiful, wonderful country, but these are the parables of communities that have been in a state of war in this country. And if we're not able to get a hold on the information that's being shared amongst ourselves, amongst our communities, then we're susceptible to anything. We're susceptible to whatever Russia does, whatever China does. You know, a lot of our technology is indoctrinated with a lot of their chips and a lot of their software.
Since you bring it up, and also, mind you, they're changing their currency to gold.
Yeah.
Silver.
Yep.
Mind you, they're getting rid of the dollar currency, mind you.
And I think that how ironic is it that before, as all these countries start to go back to the gold standard, one country wants to do that. Only one leader in one country. And that actually started the trend of backing up money from what is in the ground. And that was Muammar Gaddafi.
The news right to hit him.
That was Muammar Gaddafi. He was looking to empower Africa.
Man, and that's why he was about to empower Africa to come together. Because Africa got all the resources we need. All the resources under their foot. And for so long, man, Africa been getting robbed. It's funny because they get robbed and then they sell back their resources to them.
Yeah.
And then Gaddafi, like you said, like you're about to bring up, Gaddafi's uniting that whole region. He was waking them up like, do you know that the shit they selling y'all is under y'all feet?
Yeah.
I'm just paraphrasing, but
that actually leads me to another point that I made prior, that we have to have an understanding of what's going on. Gaddafi, may his soul rest in peace, made a fatal mistake. I can't remember the year. Please, you know.
he gave up
his nuclear arsenal.
off the thing as, we'll be friends and we'll be cool if you give this up.
We'll grant you a seat at the UN.
Yep.
And with granting you a seat at the UN, we need some accommodations of our own, which is to relinquish your nuclear arsenal. And without the power of, or rather not the power, but the protection of a nuclear arsenal, he ultimately was susceptible to whatever America had planned for him 10, 15, 20 years down the line. Now, of course, it didn't happen outright, but it happened over the twisting of decades. Coming to the table, having conflicts influenced by the West that were impeding on their homeland, and with Muammar Gaddafi reacting as any statesman would, he defended his country, and in defending his country, he was propped up to be a brutal dictator. Now,
Yeah, of course, that's what they do.
now, granted, whatever he did to his own people, bad or good, We have no right.
No right, man.
We have no right to mutilate.
Better than what they're doing here to us.
It's better than what they're doing over here. Not only that, but we as a country on the other side of the world have no right to unilaterally involve ourselves in what a country does. A sovereign state.
Yep.
All right. There are checks and balances to invading a sovereign state, invading a country with its own borders. And when you see why, or when you look it up rather, because it's not, you're not able to just, wait for this information to come to you. You have to go looking for it. When you find out why we get involved with these foreign conflicts, they are for the most trivial of reasons. In the background, Muammar Gaddafi is some dictator, killing his people, whatever. But little did we know that Libya has the world's highest, has the highest levels of iron ore, iron ore under the ground. There's an underwater aquifer that keeps Libya hydrated.
Right.
And only their leader had found that out 40 years ago. So the natural wealth that our community yields, our culture yields, is very, very rich. And once we have a deeper understanding of what that is, where that is, and how we stand in it,